Shut up and sit down.
I didn't know you rode bikes.
I didn't know you rode bikes.
Let's go butt jumping fast.
I love my bike, I love to ride. Crank those pedals, feel such peace inside.
Hot seat.
Watch the trees, clouds, and sky, let my cares fall away.
Hi, welcome to the hot seat.
Hear the kid laugh, I laugh too, let's ride away.
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Legrand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von During. Here is a random thought for your day. No other emotion plays such a disruptive role in our lives as anger. While angry, our reasoning, which is necessary for thoughtful decision-making, is impaired. So, it's your choice. You can be bitter, or you can be better.
Here comes another bike. Hi there.
Hot seat.
Funny how it makes me smile. Lots of bikes
You are
everywhere.
sitting in the hot seat.
Wish we were all cyclophiles. What was it Einstein said about hope for humanity? Push the pedals, feel the heartbeat today.
When I drink Bang Energy, I feel like I can see other people's words.
Because you're reading a book.
Oh.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I am Jake Von During, and I am here with Lance Hepler.
Lance, romance in studio.
Just barely today, though. Just barely.
Hey, Evan, give him some of your coffee.
Just barely. I have no coffee
All right.
right now. Are any of us drinking anything?
What are you going to say?
Jake's got
Evan,
something. I've got
Evan,
something.
what are you
Maybe
gonna-
I'll have to share my coffee.
What are you going to talk about, Evan?
I have no idea. I'm very scared right now.
To Lance's right, Evan Price.
Jake, what are you drinking? You're the only one drinking anything.
Coffee.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
I'm a bad host. I didn't bring you guys anything to drink.
I know. Where's my bubbly water, Matt?
Kirkland was back in stock, too. I got a whole case of Kirkland.
I can make a quick run to your refrigerator and steal all your drinks.
Do you know what is a great flavor? Is Polar Mango Limeade.
Huh.
It's a good one.
Interesting.
Everybody should go try it.
Devin's right. Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys are looking good. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Good times.
I'm glad you could make time for us from your busy YouTube international travels right now.
Right. You know, I was singing to some girls on the beach earlier, and I figured I could fit this in.
With your shirt unbuttoned or
Oh, yeah.
off?
Slightly
Unbuttoned.
Yeah.
And
Tastefully, though. Tastefully.
It's all tasteful.
Since Matt's already kicked off his backpedal here, we'll let him backpedal first.
Yeah. So I, did some running on the beach with a music video going on. But in all seriousness, I have run, I think, like 3 or 4 times this past week.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
It's the most run you've had in a while.
Well, the original goal was like, okay, I'm going to the doctor and they're going to do all this weird needling stuff. And I was like, let's run a little bit. I ran with one of the other coaches super slow, did I think 3 miles. And then another time I ran with my kids and I ran a mile or 2. And then I did this needling thing with this doctor where they're like, and it's scary, where they're like sticking needles behind your Achilles tendon and trying to separate. They call it a hydrodissection. So they're trying to separate the Achilles from the fatty pads and stuff like that. If you guys aren't familiar with my story, I've had Achilles issues for about 20 years. And flares up from time to time, and this is a particularly long flare-up. And then after that, I was like, I was traveling for a cross-country race because I coach cross-country, and there was this beautiful trail that I wanted to run. And, it's one of those things where you're running on the trail, and it's like a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. And you have to turn and get back. But it was like, then there's this beautiful lake that you run up on, so of course you want to see that. So you get there, and you keep going. Ended up doing like 8.5 miles that day.
Oh, fantastic.
And
It's amazing what a lake can do, right?
It's just like
look at the lake long enough.
or it's one of those situations where it's like it's a new trail and you just want to see where it goes,
Right.
You guys ever do this on the bike or something like
Sure,
that?
yeah.
I can't stop here. I don't know what's around the corner. And it was gorgeous, like beautiful trail, like nice, soft, and fall colors on the trees. It was just you can't stop. And my legs felt okay, so I just kept going. And I knew I was going to pay the price for it. So I've been sore, but then Evan and I are starting this running group on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like that was Saturday, and I knew I had to run on Sunday. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to run again. And I think I did.
made it 3, didn't
I did
you?
3.5 and felt fine. I just ran with the back of the pack, which was great. I mean, how many people do we have? Like 10 people?
I actually think we had close to 20.
It was
By the time
great.
we started,
Way
it was close to
larger.
20. Yeah.
It was way larger than I was expecting.
Especially this time of year, you got off season, people going to cross country.
Rainy stuff.
Was it
going
a
on. I mean,
dialed triathlon type run group?
It was, but we're gonna rebrand it, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
Just Sunday Long Run or whatever. Name to be determined. Actually, our listeners should chime in and give us a good
Oh,
name.
yes, that would be good. Because me and Matt have been throwing around names that probably aren't good. So let's go with
Yeah.
listeners decide to name this
There
thing.
you go. But yeah, I'm
Idiot Idiots on Sunday.
Yeah, there you go. Idiots run on Sunday. Yeah, so
Sunday limp.
so that's the plan, is to go forward with this 10 o'clock Sunday mornings. And so, yeah,
At
got some good
Heritage
running.
Trail.
At Heritage Trail.
Yeah. The boat ramp, not the golf side.
Yeah, so if any of our listeners want to come join us, and this is open to anyone. You don't have to be as fast as Evan or as good looking as Evan or
No, you have to at least be as good looking as me, which is a very low bar. Very, very low. Very low bar.
My goal is to have like
we had
people,
a dog out there. Shelly and Sean brought the dog.
That's tough to beat.
Dog bird's so cute.
They got a good looking dog. It's tough to beat.
The bird is so cute.
But my goal is to have people like walk, run, like do not have it be an elite group, like non-intimidating, like come walk, run some, and then the next week try to go a little further. That's it. So this week I went 3.5 miles. Try to go further next week.
Yep. It will be, you could be coming fresh off an injury, or you could be training for a marathon. That's the spectrum. You could literally be coming off of, you could crutch it if you'd like to.
My goal is to have like my cross country kids show up and bring their parents and just be like, just walk, just do something.
And then I
keep moving.
I need those young kids to keep me like moving quickly.
They will hurt you.
Yeah,
they will hurt your pride.
They're gonna hurt my pride hard.
Yeah, they will.
So hard.
They're good athletes.
Cool. Evan, how was last week, man? Backpedal for us.
After that, so on Saturday, I've started this little tradition. Me and Cassie are doing a Saturday Forest Park run, and then we pick a different brunch place and go after.
Have you gone to Dragonfly Cafe?
No, we have not.
That was my wife and I. That was our tradition to go.
Dragonfly?
Yeah, well, because you run at Forest Park.
Yeah.
And then you come straight down and as you come down the road, like Thurman.
Yep.
It's just right there. And so it was like,
that's good.
Run, coffee, happiness.
Okay. Dragonfly. Got to remember that.
Yeah, it's easy.
Would you usually run Leif Erikson, or would you go into the trails a bit?
It depended on I think if you wanted to do like a really decent like run with a decent pace, you do Leif Erikson.
Yeah.
And you'll see that's what like all the elite runners do.
That's usually what I'm doing is Leif now. Yeah.
So Portland is like home to Nike World headquarters, and with that you get some of the best runners in the world living in the area, and so you will see world record holders running.
That
out.
Strava is stacked with some big names.
maybe, or it's like I saw Paula Radcliffe, who had the women's world record in the marathon for a long time, 2:15, which is ridiculously fast.
So fast.
Didn't think that was going to get broken, and it did. So,
Just a couple weeks ago.
Someone got broken
2:14,
pretty solid. Yeah,
something and change.
Ooh, I thought it was like. I'm not going to say anything because I could be wrong, but I thought it was 2:13. I could be wrong.
We'll look it up. But yeah, it got broken recently, which I was very surprised about, because most of the time you can win a lot of these races in 2:18. So 2:15 is super fast. Anyway, that's way off topic. Evan, what else? Evan, what else did you do? What else did you do this week?
This is why I like when me and Matt get to back to pedal, because we just go back and forth on things in our cycling.
Note to self.
What did you do?
So then back to cycling.
Yes.
So Saturday, we do this forest run park, and then we went to Vivace. Vivace is a freaking awesome place. So nice. Anyway, Sunday we do that group run, and then I decide I'm going to gravel bike again. This has been like my Sunday thing lately.
Nice.
I go with David Goodman. We go and gravel bike together. And this time Tonk was able to come with us, fresh off of his win in the dominating fashion at the cross race on Sunday.
We did manage to get Tonk out for the cross race on Sunday morning.
And he won handily.
He did.
He's very fit. And
he did race the Cat 5 beginner race.
Oh, I know.
Because this was his first cross race ever, so that's the race you do.
And he handles a bike very well for a guy who has not raced cross. So
he's got some skills off the road.
He does, yeah. And I mean, we had some fun riding around Round Lake. We just got to, we went out to the Washougal Dike and just rode that. That's me and David's like favorite little section now is the Washougal Dike. We talked about doing Yam Hill here, coming up that area.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got some rides. I just hope winter holds out a little bit longer, so I can keep on doing this on Sundays.
Yeah,
it's supposed to rain next weekend, I think, but
I know.
Man, it was beautiful here in the Pacific
so
Northwest.
Nice
gravel rides aren't bad when it's raining out, though, Evan.
I think I'm still going to go out on.
It's
Sunday.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Lance will tell you
because it's not too. What does the gravel feel like when it's really wet?
It doesn't matter because it's
just packed down.
Yeah, it generally packs down. It's not
pretty
dusty
porous.
at all.
Yeah,
it's pretty coarse. You generally not muddy if the gravel is decent.
As long as it's not pouring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still down to do it. It's a blast.
Lance, did you do anything this past week? You been busy at all?
I did.
Got any backpedaling for us?
I raced 24 times.
That's it?
I did one race this last week. I actually had a very difficult, very stressful week.
Oh, man.
It's just one of those things that it just happens sometimes.
dude.
It's just dealing with family stuff, and it was just a really hard week personally.
Was it a full moon or something this past week? You're not the only person that has had a rough week. I've heard it from quite a few people.
Yeah.
This past week for me was kind of difficult too. There's
Any
a lot of things going on. It's just
sicknesses with the kids and stuff,
I
or
think it was Halloween's fault.
I don't know.
Halloween's fault.
Maybe it was Halloween. Was it too much
Yeah,
sugar for
maybe.
everybody this
Could've
week?
been.
All
I think
cranky.
so.
We had pukey kid syndrome. It was a rough week.
So I did race though.
Okay.
It was the Cross Crusade Rainier race, which is at Rainier High School in Rainier, Oregon. It's a very difficult course with a lot of climbing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I went into it thinking, okay, climbing, that's not my thing. This is going to be difficult. But it turns out all the climbs were like
Short.
like 20-second punchy climbs. Well, that is my thing.
I know, right? I feel like that's a lot of cyclocross climbs are like that. Like,
Well, 2-minute climbs, 3-minute climbs
Gets ya.
me. But like a 20 or 30-second punchy climb, no, it was good. So
Power through it, rinse and repeat, right?
yeah, so
Recover and repeat.
I was really motivated too because our team is really trying to do well in the team competition, and so
it's close.
it's very close.
Well, going into the weekend, how many points back were we?
We were 30 points back
Okay.
from the next team, and after this weekend, we're 10 points up.
Wow.
We made it. It's made a big swing
close.
this weekend, which I think is going to motivate the next team, and I think it's going to be really difficult for us to win this. To be honest with you,
But that's good.
and that's why we got Tonk to come out. We really tried to rally some teammates to come out.
You want me to fix my bike up?
Please,
You need a ringer? You need a ringer?
Come race for us. Well, the thing is, we need people who can place first, second, or third.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
So why were me and Matt not invited?
So it's been really pretty crazy. So I was really motivated for the race. After being stressed out all week, I was ready to just
Hammer.
tear people apart. And so I got in the race. I'm now in the call-ups because I'm ninth. I was ninth overall before the race,
That's
and
huge.
so the first 15 get call-ups, and so that was really great. And a couple of the top guys weren't there because they didn't travel from Bend or from across, and so the race started, and I found myself on the second and third lap in second place.
Yeah.
Just fighting with me and the second and the third place guy, just kind of rallying with each other, trying to catch the guy in the lead. And that was really motivating, and
That's cool.
I just really laid myself out there, and then I completely faded in the fifth and sixth laps, and I ended up fourth
That's
overall.
huge, though. Fourth
That's
is
awesome.
great.
Which I was just
You got it. That's the best you've done so far,
yes,
right? Yeah.
I had taken fifth in Cascade Locks, and then
I mean, yeah, when you're in second, you want to finish second, but you got to take a step back and fourth.
okay, well,
Fourth is great.
This guy that I was with
Yep.
has beat me by minutes before.
you're doing
So
well.
just the fact that I was with him, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Just stay with him, just work with him as much as
I
possible.
wonder if you're just a little more recovered this week
yeah, that's quite
from not
possible.
racing 17 times.
I did. I still rode almost 200 miles
Yeah.
last week, but it
Lance.
was it was a
Still
little
a
more
difference between racing
gauged.
and riding, though. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, I don't know. I was super happy with my race. It just went really well.
So you went into that race ranked ninth
Yeah.
for the series. Where are you at now that you finished fourth?
I have moved all the way to 8th.
Oh,
I would assume that this late in this year,
There's just
everybody in the top 10 is finishing in the top 10.
yes.
Usually. Yeah.
They're just it's going to be really hard for me to improve.
where do you think you would be if you hadn't gone to Orlando? Ballpark.
If I would have done Heron Lakes, I probably wouldn't have been better than 7th.
Gotcha.
I don't think I would have jumped many races. I took a big hit those first 2 races of the season where I got no points
Yeah.
because I was 25th and 24th or something like that.
Gotcha.
And so,
Goals for next year, top 5.
yeah. Well,
And the goal for this year was top 10. Hopefully, that was like a stretch
was-
goal.
it
And
was
here you
stretch
are.
goal. Yeah.
And here you are, like you're there. You got it.
I've got a
No
shot
pressure.
at it. I've got a shot. And the great thing is, if I do finish in the top 10 for the whole series,
Yeah.
I'll get a call up
next year.
For
next year for the first 2 races. I won't have to like beat myself up in the races beforehand to try.
Are we going to train like crazy next year for cyclocross?
Yeah.
It's going to be. We're going to go.
Will cyclocross be your focus now?
I don't know.
We'll go Berserko next year.
Cyclocross probably favors your strengths more than road racing.
It does, but I'm in a new category next year.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I can race the 50 fields.
Yeah.
So every road race that has a 50 field, I'll have a shot at. I'm confused.
Is Hannel a 50-year-old next year too?
Yes.
So the both of you are
Yes.
get on.
So,
Man,
so
that'll be
that's
fun.
It'll be a good thing
We're gonna be pretty
because
strong in the 50s.
I can work for Hannel in the 50s.
It's good because you guys can work together.
Yes.
It's bad because he's ridiculously
Yes,
strong. and you can't, it's hard to beat him.
Yeah. If it stays together, I'll beat Hannel. If it
At a-
doesn't
in
stay
a
together,
sprint,
he gets
yeah.
in the breakaway, and I want him to get in the breakaway because that is his thing. Then it's Hannel's race.
Then you will
So
not be beating
sometimes
Hannel.
half the fun is just getting him there.
Yes,
being a
getting
part of
him-
that process is getting him there, and that is fun.
Yes.
That's why I love road racing.
So
Or you could just actually get specific with your training and beat him next year. I'm just being devil's advocate over
He's
here.
pretty damn specific with his training.
I know Hannel
and
is,
he's
yeah.
pretty damn fast to boot. So,
so good at it.
Does Hannel like train pretty? Like,
Oh,
does he
yeah.
have like a regiment that he? I mean,
Well-
I thought he commuted to work.
I
just
don't
didn't
think he has a real regimen.
he kind of does, though. If you kind of take a look at what he does, he'll go out and he'll do his commutes. That's getting his base miles in.
We should bring
He'll
him on
ride
and
with his
grill him.
daughter, getting some more base and recovery in, and then he'll go out and he'll hammer.
Does he do workouts?
Well, I don't.
No.
I'm not going to call it a structured workout, but he looks at segments, and if you think
Yeah.
about it, if you kind of put it
He
next to a
changes
structured
segments.
workout
Interval.
program, it kind of looks similar. It's not going to be spot on, but I mean, he's probably within 85 or 90% of what that program would look like, and he's getting the benefits from it.
But he chases long segments, like
Yeah.
20-minute efforts or 30-minute efforts. So he's pushing.
Great for road racing.
He's he's doing these VO2 efforts and these VO2 max efforts that are just
Nuts.
nuts.
He needs to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
We need to grill him.
Yep. So going into next week, that's race number 8 coming
Number
up,
8
and that's of 9.
of 9.
Of 9. That's going to be the state championship race, though,
Correct.
too, correct?
Yeah.
How does that work with call-up points? If somebody had not come out and done any state champ or any of the cyclocross races, and you come out to do a state championship race, how do they work the call-ups? Do you have to be in?
That is a great question. I don't believe if you haven't come out to any other Cross Crusade races,
Sure,
you
yeah.
will not get called up.
So effectively, you have no chance of winning the state championship unless you're out there racing the Cross Crusade.
Probably not. It's the call up isn't everything. It depends on really how wide the start lanes are.
True.
But
And how big the fields are,
gosh,
too,
and
correct?
How big the fields are. Yeah.
How is it at Barton Park, though?
I've never done Barton Park before. I've never done a lot of these races because they were all on Sunday, and I'm just being bad this year and racing on these Sunday races.
Don't admit to your crimes.
I'm so
Admit your
bad.
sense, Lance.
So yeah, so I don't know what it looks like. I know it has a difficult climb / run up. We might have some rain this weekend, so that will change things a bit.
You know, they have a long run up that a lot of people would run up, and I think it was last year or the year before. Our
was last
teammate,
year.
Paul First, rode up it, and then there's a big log at the top of it, and bunny hopped the log at the same time.
That's correct.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He was the only
Good
one that
for
did
him.
that, didn't he? Or wasn't
He
he?
was one of 2, I think,
Yeah.
that actually pulled it off.
Like the
A
vast
lot of
majority-
people could ride up it, but they had to dismount to
get over the log. Yeah.
And Paul First was able to ride up it with enough speed and with enough skill to actually bunny hop the log at the top.
At the age of
How
what, 20?
ridiculous is he?
How,
don't
21?
Yeah, he's like
he's right
20,
around there.
21, somewhere in there.
That's
Yeah.
nuts. Supposed to rain this weekend?
It's supposed to rain this weekend, so that will change things.
I was
bit.
thinking about calling on our boy over here, Evan Price, and seeing if I can get a roll of duct tape and if he can fashion something up for my shoulder.
Shoulders,
Oh,
you
we
come
can
do it.
We can fashion basically anything.
I'm
up to
still at
make it
Cat
work.
3.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I mean, I haven't raced cross all year long.
Doesn't matter, Jake. With your engine, it doesn't matter.
I haven't been trained up for that. I mean, I've got a little bit of fitness, and I've just finished up a recovery block, and and starting to like go back into that. I would consider it. The only caveat is if it's wet, slimy, and muddy. I cannot
I
afford to
think
go
it's
down.
supposed to start raining Saturday night. So is
So-
it
So
Saturday
who knows?
race?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I
Oh
guess
wait, no,
we'll
that's
have to
that's
see.
a Sunday race.
It's a
isn't
Sunday
it?
race.
Yeah.
My objective is to come out there regardless because I want to watch you guys race. I want to go out there and take pictures and want to be out there. I haven't got a chance to hang out with the team in a while, so I
Yeah.
want to come out there and check it out. But if the weather and
I'm
the
seeing
conditions
just-
aren't terribly bad, and we are in a battle with second place for that
We are
team
in a battle.
competition, and if I think I can go out there and contribute in any way, shape, or form, I would consider doing it. As a matter of fact, I told Chris Sarrett that yesterday via text, just to hold myself to
I
it.
would love that.
But
We'd be in the same heat
really,
because the 50 pluses race at the same time as the Cat 3 Masters. We
so I think I
go
would
at
be
the same
racing with
time.
like Brian Wise and John
Would be.
Hatfield and who else?
John
is-
Hatfield's racing with the 50 pluses.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was racing with.
But Brian Wise is in the Cat 3 field, and who else for
Probably.
our team?
Where did Sarrett race yesterday?
We got Sarrett to race in the Clydes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So he just went out there and thumped everybody, huh?
Well, he took second to Weirman.
Oh, he did. Weirman got him.
Weirman got him.
What?
Chris Weirman.
Yeah.
That's a big win right there.
So that was also
How much?
That was
what's
also
the
team
weight?
strategy.
Yeah.
What's
wait.
the weight on the Clydesdale?
200
division?
pounds.
It's 200 pounds.
Sarah weighs more than 200 pounds.
Is he just
weighs
tall?
200.5 pounds.
Oh, did he
Or
eat did he eat a bagel before
Yes.
the race?
You know what,
He
you
doesn't
guys?
seem
I'm
that
only a
big to
couple
me.
cheeseburgers away from that sometimes anyway.
Let's
So
cheeseburger you up.
yeah, I weighed 189 over the weekend,
Okay,
but
we can
I
get you
can
there.
I think that's a
drink
lot of cheeseburgers.
fluid
Jake.
and have a couple slices of pizza
Yeah.
and cheeseburger, and I can get right there.
How much beer do we have in the garage?
We have a lot still. Anyhow.
When we realized how tight we were in the team field, Surratt went and got on the scale and realized I'm close enough to race in the Clydes. I'm gonna.
Did you just chug some water? Or
Yeah,
something?
I'm gonna beef up and I'm gonna race the Clydes.
Do they have a scale there?
So they
the honor
bring a
system?
scale to the start, and
If there's
in
any
years
questions.
past, they used to weigh the top 3 guys every race,
Uh-huh.
and their weights were posted on the results in the
Oh, yeah.
in the comments section. But they haven't weighed anybody this year, but they've brought a scale so
Just in
that
case
if,
there's a
threat.
question.
yeah,
Yeah.
just in
I
case
would.
there's a question.
If I was a judge, I'd weigh Chris Surratt in a second.
Well, he's tall.
He's tall. He doesn't look too. I don't know.
He looks so
Doesn't seem
athletic,
like
though.
He's
He
super
could be a
athletic. He's
linebacker.
just super strong. He's just one of those big guys that just has.
Do
all
they make
this
you take
power.
your shoes off?
He's got like that wide
don't
receiver build to him, just like a
If
strong,
they weighed him
wiry
after the
frame.
race, he might be under 200.
Maybe.
That's a good point.
Somebody give me a bottle.
Or he keeps a water bottle on.
Yeah.
Actually, the race promoters have told people if you wanted to race in Clydes with a 20-pound weight vest on, you could.
Wait, seriously?
Really?
That's what I heard. Maybe that's just a rumor.
Who would do that though? That sounds terrible.
Exactly.
I'm in. That'd be hilarious.
Because it still would not be easy.
Okay, so if I
That'd be
put on
so
a
fun.
50-pound vest,
hard.
I can go and race Clyde. That would be. I would.
But
come
it
in
doesn't
last.
matter because
Yeah.
if we've got
I would
both
definitely come in last.
Weirman and Surratt racing Clydes for us, then
That's a shoe in right
that's
there.
good. It's
Yeah.
not a guarantee
Someone
because
else
there's always mechanicals.
Yeah,
Mechanical
that's
stuff
true.
can happen. But yeah, it helped. We got first and second in that race. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, we'll see how things play out over the
Yeah,
next 2 weeks.
so it should be interesting to see what happens because
Dial this game in the system.
If we get desperate, do me and Matt have to go and try to race the Cat 5 beginners
No,
group?
we race.
not if Tonk finishes out the races.
Oh,
then
that's true. I mean, I can just go with
Then we don't
Tonk and
need you.
try to
Did
get it.
they-
I
did
just try
they
to
ask
stay
him
on
to move
Tonk's
up?
wheel.
I don't know.
I'm racing Clydesdale. I know what you're talking about.
He can easily
and
do
Matt
at
will
least
slip
one
in
more
there.
race before they're
We're
going to
not
ask him
being
to move
sad.
up.
Yeah,
So
could.
interesting.
And it depends on if people complain. It's possible that Deschutes had half the numbers. This is the team. The Deschutes team. The Deschutes Brewery team is the team that we're fighting with.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
going to be so mad at
it's
us.
not fair because the majority of the races are very nice for us to make it to.
Well,
They have
a great Masters field, a great women's field, and we have a great juniors field.
yeah.
We just have juniors that show up, and they don't have juniors that show up, and the juniors fields might have 5 people in them, and so it's easier to get a higher place.
Well,
But
they
that's
also won the
system.
competition last year, and they get a call up at every race.
No,
so
they don't.
Oh,
They didn't win last year.
I thought they did.
Lazy Tarantulas
Oh,
won
that's
last
right.
year.
Yeah.
Lazy
And-
Tarantulas.
Good names.
And Deschutes
What are-
was
what are
third,
these
I think.
teams?
But Deschutes had won like 4 years in a row before that. So they feel it like it's their competition.
Gotcha.
So
I love
and
the
they're really
competitiveness
ticked
with
that
this.
they did not win it last year. Really upset. But in Bend they had a ton of people. They had
Yeah.
a ton, and they like halved our score.
First off, Ben shouldn't be complaining in any way. They get free altitude doping all the time, so that's not even fair. Okay,
It's like 3,000 feet. That's not
quite.
enough.
It's not quite enough.
it's like basically 4,000. We're gonna give it to them. Okay,
Got to get to that 5 marker, buddy.
They need another 1,000 feet to really.
actually, I think you need to get to 6 or 7 for it to really be
I think
rough.
5 or
Yeah.
6 is perfect.
I never really noticed it at 5. It was like 6 when I started to notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just
So,
gonna
yeah.
pretend like Ben to 6,000 feet in the air right now.
Sure.
Do I hear 7?
There's a whole lot of strategy going in this team competition. There's a lot of people looking at it. So
Well,
if
that's
they don't
fun.
complain and we don't complain, I just don't want to complain. We're just trying to work.
I think
how
if you
it
don't
works.
cheat, as long as you don't
We're not
cheat,
cheating.
It's not cheating. It's
no
just
one's cheating.
Oh no, he got on that scale and weighed it. He didn't put on a 20-pound vest. And even if
No.
a 20-pound vest was legal, sure, you can go and do that.
you're pitting
Yeah.
people in races. That's not cheating.
No.
Well, I mean, if Surratt was 197 and he showed up at the start line hoping they wouldn't
Weigh him.
him,
Yeah.
then that sucks.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He weighed himself. He took a picture of it.
Oh,
he
then he's
sent
good.
it to
No,
us
he's
and
good.
said,
Well, and another
hey,
thing-
I'm like 200.5. Or
What
it
was
like
he wearing
201.
when he weighed himself too? I mean,
I don't know.
Again, when I ask about shoes, like your
Yeah,
cross shoes, those
right.
are kind of heavy when you got
Right.
your toe spikes and the carbon.
All those things add
wrapping.
up for sure.
It does.
Because if he's naked weighing 200 pounds, then he's fine, right?
Right.
Because then
Yeah.
he puts on whatever.
Then you put on your clothes and you're good.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Fun.
Speaking of weight, I should probably lose some weight. We should have another weight challenge.
wait. Our weight challenge earlier this year never ended. I think we're still in it.
Still in it. But I can't hit the numbers that I
I
said.
think
that
I had to
hit
get to
earlier
like
this year.
146. There's
That's
no
true.
way I'm
You're-
going to get done.
You're never-ending
Yeah,
sport.
we got.
I don't even think my body can get there.
Dare we do that going into the holidays, or do we wait
should
until
wait.
after
Let's
this?
just
We
wait.
did.
Let's
No,
wait.
no. I say we do it through the holidays.
say we-
I always lose weight during the holidays. Let's
What
do
is
it.
the matter with you? Let's do it after the holidays and get our listeners to join us.
Yep,
that's a good idea.
that could be fun.
Yeah.
I'll backpedal
Get
real
ready
quick
for
so we
Yeah,
can get
sorry.
into this thing.
yeah, but
We
yeah.
got 25 minutes in this
25
episode.
minute Hepler stinking backpedaling.
That was a good one though. I like that one.
It was all team stuff.
Yeah. This past week, I was absolutely shellacked all week long, so I was worthless for pretty much the better part of the week. Even doing the team's Zwift ride, I just didn't have any bullets in the chamber. I didn't even try and really chase at the end. I mean, I got after it just a little bit, but I watched everybody ride off when we did our little hot section. But
What are you talking about? Jake.
Yeah, please tell me what actually happened, Lance.
Okay, so I on Tuesday we had our Zwift ride, but earlier that day we had a windy day here in Vancouver, and so I went out and just attacked several segments, trying to get some KOMs.
God, you're the
Mother
worst.
Nature doping.
You're the
Totally
worst.
wind doped. Yeah. So and it was hilarious because I went out and got this segment that I was shooting for, and Tonk saw that I got it.
Did Tonk come
I'm
back and
totally
get
hijacking your bike pedal, by the way.
no, go for it. This is a better story.
No,
Trust
really.
me.
No, this is going. Did Tonk get it back from you?
So I go out, I do this like 3-mile segment, and I get the KOM on it by like 10 seconds, but I took it from Tonk and Goodman. They had tied on it. And so Tonk's like, "Oh, dude, it is on now." And I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, go for it." Hey, 2 hours later, he goes out and gets it back.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He's fit as heck right now.
He just-
You just poked the bear there.
Oh, man.
But he
I
put
was
it.
like,
He put it to you as well. He
it
got
was like 15 seconds.
Oh, you're not touching
I was
that.
like, oh, jeez. I'm like, Tonk, you're half my age. I still win.
That is true. He actually is half your age, I think.
That's funny.
Anyway, so I did this really hard ride outside trying to get all these segments, these KOMs. This is total ego-driven crap. And so it might be part of the reason. Anyway, that night we had our Zwift ride, and I thought, okay, I've just ridden really hard for 2 hours. I should not do this Zwift ride. I find myself on my bike doing this Zwift ride. And so we get to the very end. I'm riding with Jake. We had 15 people on there.
There was more than that. It was
Something
a big.
like that.
It was a big ride. Yeah.
It was great. We get to the end. We're doing Box Hill on the London course.
I love Box
So it's
Hill.
a big long climb. We're doing it for the very last thing. I am shellacked, and I'm back there with Jake, and I'm like Jake, you can go because there's no way I'm hammering up this thing after what I did today. And Jake's like, yeah, I'm feeling really bad. See ya. Boom. And Jake takes off and just crushes me.
Hold on. What's your See, now that I'm in the Zwift world too, I get to be a part of these conversations now. What's your record up Box Hill? What's your fastest?
Just over 6 minutes.
Just over 6 minutes?
I think it was like 6:10 or 6:15.
Oh, jeez, never mind.
And mine's like 8.5 minutes.
Oh my God. I was 7:06 and Tonk was 7, and I thought that was like going to be the tippy top of the team right
I'll
there.
go back and check, but we had a
Yeah.
couple slug sessions going up that the past couple of years. I can remember racing Chris Hannell up there, and we were just put into each other, and I was like,
God, were we putting out like 450 the entire way up?
yeah.
Oh my God.
we were moving, but
okay,
I was really slow into that. And I actually missed the start of the actual segment where we let people go, and they were already gone. I'm like, I wasn't going to go for it anyway, not a big deal. And I'm like, I should probably just ramp it up a little bit. And there was a bunch of people who went, and then I was watching them on the leaderboard slowly falling off. I'm like, maybe I'll just try and go up and catch this person. Caught him. Let me just try and catch this person. Caught him. And just kept kind of leapfrogging up there. But I was nowhere close to Hannell, who just absolutely obliterated everybody. And it was him and I think Guy Van and Nate were up there. God, who else? There was a couple other people that just flew up that hill, but
crushing it.
Yeah. Jeez. So a few more Zwift rides. I took Wednesday off. It's the first time I've taken off a Wednesday in I don't even know how long. It's been like months. So it was just I was so tired, and it was Halloween. Was that Halloween? Wednesday?
Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday that I took off, not Wednesday. I never take either of those days off, and that's how tired I was. But I did get on the mountain bike. Did a couple rides this weekend.
Oh, good.
That was nice. It was beautiful on Saturday. Beautiful on Sunday.
Did I ever reply to you? You were like, "Let's go ride," and I was like, I don't know. I was at a cross country race.
You did. You said you were at a cross country meet, and you told me to have a nice ride. Enjoy the sun.
Okay.
Something
It was
like that.
beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, those were fun, and I'm paying the price. My shoulder is talking to me, and it was sore all night long.
Just from doing the
two mountain bike rides. Yep. Yeah. So, yay.
Yay, shoulder.
Yeah. Good news, though. 2 of my 3 kids are done with all of their sports for the next 3 or 4 months. So that's going to be nice. My oldest is still in some soccer tournaments. I was at soccer and baseball all weekend long.
I just see nothing but soccer pictures all weekend. I assume that's where you're at.
On Saturday, I have to replace a tubular on my cross bike because my front wheel is just it's done like 25 races and it's just falling apart. The tread's actually coming off. So I needed some tubular glue. So I look up on Find My Friends. Oh, look, Jake's at home. I'll just go run by his house. And as I'm pulling up to Jake's house, I see you pulling out of the driveway and pulling off the road. Now that dang it, I missed him.
I think I remember seeing the van. I'm like, then Lance wouldn't be over here.
I was.
And there's another person that lives close to me that has a van like that. I'm like, that must have been that person. You should have called me. I would just give you my code to go get it.
I know, but I was forget it.
Gobs and gobs of that stuff. So, did you get some?
No, it's being delivered today from Amazon, so I'll have my own
I
set.
got so much freaking glue, and I never use it. So,
anyway. So, and I thought, he's in between soccer games, so of course I missed
off to another soccer game. My last thing for the Backpedal is that the time change sucks. I hate it. So anyway, moving forward.
I love it.
No, we need to get back to March. We need to get back into daylight saving time, and we need to be done with it. And we just need to stop messing with the friggin' clock. Leave it alone.
We probably do, but I'm a lazy millennial, and I'll tell you what, that extra hour sleep on Sunday was incredible. Oh, that was so nice.
Not worth it for the 4 months that we have to live with.
Not at all,
extra
but
time,
at the moment it was great.
Leadout news. Lance, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so the Cross Crusade, I will give the local results for the 1-2 men. It was won by, big surprise, Carl Decker. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, he hasn't done a whole lot the last couple years in cross races, but
when he's on.
But when he comes out race, he wins, right?
He's just having fun, so he came out and won. Jacob Rathie was second, and Sean Babcock was third. So
how did Robert Cummings do?
Robert got out there and mixed it up. He hasn't raced in quite a while, but he took 6th.
Where have they been recently? Racing across
last weekend.
Been.
No, last weekend I saw Robert.
They haven't been.
I saw Robert at Forest Park.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, running by, saw them, and was
whole
about
team?
to say no, just Robert, and Robert was riding with somebody.
Oh, okay.
They were right at the start of Leif Erikson, actually.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool.
That's cool.
But it was like they were flying by me, and I went by the time I realized it was Robert, it was too late. I was going to turn around and chase him. I was like, that's ridiculous. I'm never going to
happen.
Never going to catch him in a million years. So
what else?
So happy for Robert that he got in there. The women's 1-2 race, surprise, surprise, was won by Clara Hansinger. Showed up and raced.
Back in town, eh?
Yes. So internationally famous, and in the cross heat check news, she's now one of the 3 top Americans.
Yeah. Was that race even close?
Was she safely ahead of
Let's see.
Do they have times?
She did 7 laps in 1 hour and 47 seconds. And second place, which was Janelle Bickford, was 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 35 seconds.
Gosh.
She won by 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. What were the lap times? Like 6 or 7 minutes?
Her lap times were 8:20s.
8:20s. So she
8:27s.
nearly was coming up on like another lap or two. She was going to lap second place.
My lap times were like, I had a couple of 8:10s.
And she also raced for 15 more minutes than you did.
And then
I was probably cruising those last couple laps.
My last laps were like 8:40s and 8:35s, and she was doing 8:20s the whole time.
Jeez.
So, yeah. I got smoked.
Just a workout.
Smoke
for her.
Just out of curiosity, if she had gone and raced with the 50s, would she have won? Do you think, given her lap times? And if she were able to truncate
With the
everything
50s?
down with your group? If Claire came in and raced against the men's 50s?
That's a good question. Probably.
That would be so fun to watch.
See. We did 6 laps, and our leader was doing 8:02, 8:10, 8:10. She would not have. She probably wouldn't have won.
She's also spreading herself out for an extra 15 minutes, though.
Not riding in a pack either, riding by herself.
So it's quite possible.
But she could have been right there.
She could have been right there.
That would have been fun to watch.
Yeah.
Good job, Clara.
Good job, Claire.
Even though I don't know you, but I'd love to meet you.
Yeah,
I've seen her race before.
We're
I've never
like
met her.
pretending. Oh yeah, Clara. Yeah, you know.
Right on.
That's it.
Cool. Evan, I think you've got some news that all of our
Quick-
listeners are going to just
quick
absolutely
triathlon
love
news.
to know.
Triathlon news.
So me and Matt's followers can listen here. Everybody else can tune out for a second.
All three of you.
This was one. So late season post Kona Ironman racing is always fun to look at because
Yeah.
you can see like who's held over a little bit of
Yep,
fitness.
that's
which
exactly
is
what they do.
Always fun to watch.
They finish Kona and they're like, I'm going to do that
Yeah.
1 or 2 more races.
Yeah, they're
or
like,
whatever
I got
it
a
is.
lot of fitness right now. I feel
Yep.
like I need to race one more.
Yeah, and the other thing you can do is you can qualify for Kona kind of like
Yes.
right afterwards, which I think is a smart,
It's
way
smart
to do
if
it.
you can hold over the fitness and stay healthy. So Ironman Florida, which our own Lance Hepler's racing twice. Lance,
I've done it twice.
what was your PR there? Let's compare it to the winners.
Let's not talk
Well, my
PRs.
race was in 2003 and 2004. How old were you?
2003 and 4.
How old were
I was
you?
not old at that time. I was still playing soccer.
You
Let me put it that
played
way.
My PR, I think at Florida, was 10:47.
You were right on the tail of Joe Skipper, who won in 7:46. He got you only by 3 hours. He only got you by 3 hours. That is the course record now.
Oh my gosh.
He was moving. So I am a big Andrew Starkowitz fan. I knew him when I was younger. I knew his coach very well. I worked at his coach's bike shop. I am a huge Andrew Starkowitz fan who was in third. Stellar podium for Starkey.
That's amazing.
He biked 4:01. For you cyclists out there, that is like 27.6 miles an hour for 112 miles.
That's unbelievable.
Also, just let me tell you, he swam 4K before and was saving his legs for a run too. So you're thinking, what could this guy actually do for like an all-out 100-mile time trial? Is unreal to think about. He's a freak.
I'm guessing he's not on a UCI legal time trial bike.
He's on an Orbea.
Orbea, yeah.
He's not on a fast bike. Let me put it that way. This has been known for a long time. And I'm not trying to like disparage Orbea if we have an Orbea listener here, but he is definitely not on a fast bike compared to his competition.
Let's just say he's not on the fastest bike.
He's on a fast bike. He's not on the Canyon that Jan Frodeno's on.
Well, I think that the Cervelo is probably
that's true. Yeah,
one of the Cervelo bikes is probably the fastest bike on the. Yeah,
but he's not on an F1 bike.
27 miles an hour for 112.
What's the elevation gain? Just out of curiosity,
like probably
6.
nothing. Yeah, probably like 5 feet. Yeah,
there's like literally an overpass.
Yeah, speed bump.
I actually think it was between 1,000 and 2,000 feet. I could look at his Strava.
There's a speed bump, but you can go around it. So,
exactly.
That's elevation.
It's negligible.
Uh-huh.
At my fittest, I could have done Florida in like 9:30.
Yeah,
and I would have done the bike in like 4:50.
4:45, 4:50. I bet you could hit that. Yeah,
that's just ridiculous. That just makes me feel like
it is
less of a human.
I mean, he's fast,
He
man.
can do that.
He's very, very, very fast.
That's
so
impressive.
Then you got Lionel Sanders back after Kona, going and winning Cabos pretty handily. Won it by quite a bit.
It looked like he looked significantly.
He won it comfortably. Yeah,
way ahead on the. I mean, actually, he was pretty much with the pack on the swim, and then he crushed the bike and run.
And
the bike in the run.
He had the fastest bike and run by a lot.
Fastest run. So it was over.
He'll be back in competitive again in Kona next year, but.
Yes, he will.
That's enough triathlon talk, though. That's probably not going to be a lot of triathlon races here coming up. There's
going to be
winter is usually a
this is it.
quiet period of time. So
gotcha.
You guys will be celebrating the lack of triathlon.
It'll be a lot of cross talk. That's for sure. It's going to be a lot.
Well, that's going to end here really shortly.
Matt, do you have some news for us?
Cross country season, one more week. The Washington State Championships is next weekend.
So you guys had a race this past weekend?
You get some athletes that made it to state?
Yeah. Camus team guys won. Camus team girls won. They're like regionals kind of going, to qualify for state. So we won. We'll see how we do.
Where's that going to be at?
It's in Pasco, Washington, which is like the Tri-Cities area.
Gotcha.
It's basically
it's like the center of the state.
Yeah, or kind of like southeastern kind of section. Yeah, you go through there sometimes. It's actually
my brother lives there.
I think it's beautiful.
My brother lives in Kennewick.
Kennewick, yeah.
Sweet. Wout van Aert completed his first. Wout van Aert completed his first off-road ride since that Tour de France crash.
Oh man,
so
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he's back riding off-road, which is kind of nice. Still hasn't put a race on his calendar, but do we think he's going to be back in racing this season and competitive to boot?
I don't know. I'd love to see him do a cross race.
Do you mean cross race
cyclocross?
competitive, or do you think? Because I'm thinking more like, is he going to ride on the roads next year? I wonder.
Oh, I absolutely think so.
I would love to see him do it. I don't know if he's thinking to himself like, well, that road cycling is stupid. Like, I can ride cross and win, and win every day.
Yeah, and he's like, I clearly already proven I'm one of the fastest road cyclists, so I can probably just leave that now. Yeah.
He can do cyclocross and not kill
I
himself.
think the guy should go for the hour record.
You think so?
I honestly believe that Wout van Aert would, if he took a year and focused on the hour record, he could put that thing out of touch.
Huh, interesting.
He's incredible. I mean, for basically an untrained time trialist to come in and be as strong as he was in time trialing this year is incredible.
Gotcha.
So much power.
Yeah, well, he went off-road for 69 kilometers. And
follow him on Strava?
I'm looking at a Strava post. No, I do not follow him.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe. Not
do
too
I
bad.
follow him on Strava?
Maybe you should. And then Matthew Van Der Poel, he came back and did his first cross race.
Yeah, his first cross race after the World Championships, after the World Championships.
Yeah. The Super Prestige Rudevort, if I'm not mistaken, men's race, and he won that. So
he's just on another level. Everybody else in the elite field have just been biding their time, waiting for Van Der Poel to come back.
Yeah.
So they had like 6 races to do before Van Der Poel came back, and then he came back and handily won. So,
gotcha. All right. Normally this would be where we slot our listener hot lap in, but we are going to be short on time today, so we are going to actually pass on that.
We need volunteers.
We've got people for next week.
We've got 2 people lined up for the next couple of weeks, but we do need some more people. If any of you are interested in joining us for the listener hot lap, it doesn't have to take very long. We can have you come on here and chat with us, and it's actually just a really fun experience.
Matt LeGrand, international pop star, we're looking at you. Okay, it's time for you to come on.
Pretty sure he's interested in coming on
and confront your nemesis.
A lot of people have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. I don't even care.
There's another Matt LeGrand that also has a YouTube channel, and he sings pop stuff, and he sings with his shirt off. I'm sorry, his shirt off on the beach.
His shirt on. Very rarely with his shirt on.
Very rarely with shirt on, and he's hilarious. Go subscribe to his channel. He's fantastic.
He doesn't quite have as many views as you do, but you're trying to help him out, which I appreciate. Yeah.
But he's just, yeah.
Go check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Both of them are @Dial Podcast. And if you would like to jump on here, send us a direct message. We'll set it up and get you on here, and we'll chat for a few and have some fun. Should be a good time. Moving on. Guess what? It's the hot seat.
The hot seat.
The hot seat is back, guys. The official hot seat. We had a little mini Halloween hot seat last week.
Yeah, that's right.
A little teaser, but this is the hot seat, guys.
This is the official hot seat.
The actual hot seat.
I'm looking around the table here, and everybody's staring at
be
me like who's going to go first?
Everybody's trying to avoid contact. Contact with Jake.
Evan's looking away the most right now, so Evan, you get to start. What's your hot seat question?
Here we go. I wanted to make this like a spooky hot seat, but I'll save that for my second question. That would have been good for like a Halloween themed hot seat, you know?
That's what we did last week.
I know, and I wasn't here.
Oh, you were here.
Well, I was here for the beginning.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Remember, it was the week before I was here the entire time. Last week I had to get out early.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
Moving on.
So, what is your favorite? So for Matt, this is going to be favorite spring preseason triathlon race.
Yep. Okay.
For you guys, this is going to be what is your favorite post-cross before road race?
Are you talking about races that we will do, or are you
Just in general and in general?
Oh,
and anything
gotcha.
you've done in the past you would like to do again. So I'm branding it. What is your favorite off-season race?
Off-season race?
I don't know if we have any racing in the off season.
So let me clarify. Because
that includes swim, bike, or run races for you, Matt.
Okay, so should I be thinking of? Okay, so I'll discuss a couple things because, let's start with the Jack Frost time trial, which I'd consider very, very off season for me. I think that thing is fun. It's super short.
Yeah.
It's this super short, flat time trial thing. It's the one place where I can, contribute points to the team.
Yeah,
because believe it or not, I can't contribute points in cyclocross. I can't do it. I know everyone thinks I can, but I can't. So Jack Frost is an awesome. I would consider that off-season race.
Yeah.
If we're kind of considering like a preseason race, like kind of as I start to think about like triathlon season and kind of like the first build-up kind of stuff, I would consider this race that they call like the Spring Classic Duathlon. It's at that time, it's kind of like April timeframe.
Yeah.
It's too cold to really have any swims, open water swim type stuff. But it is a cool race because they'll do a 5K and then it's kind of, I don't even think it's 40K. It's something like 5K, 15 miles, 5K or something like that. It's, some weird distances. But I like that race. I think it's super fun.
Is that a Y event?
It's a Y racing
it is.
event,
Yep.
and it's super flat and fast. It's pancake flat. So you're doing all of that on Marine Drive. So if people are familiar with the area, it's along the Columbia River, and it's pretty. And, I don't usually do that well or anything like that, but, I mean, it's still
a fun race.
Still fun. Yeah. So those are my two. You said one, and I gave you two. So that's a
There you
bonus.
go.
That's
is
a bonus, and you should
+1 for Matt.
Yes.
Good. Okay, Lance, go.
My favorite off-season race is the race from my back door to the hot tub.
Oh yeah.
So it's
About how many kilometers is that usually?
It's about 20 meters.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you have a
and-
KOM section for this?
Well, the trick
multiple
is
KOMs.
if it's dark enough, can I go full buck naked, or do I have to wear clothes or a robe?
I was just about to say, hey, Lance, I should come over and join you in the hot
there you
tub.
go. No, you shouldn't.
So
no, you
if
should not.
nobody's there, I have to make the decision: am I going shorts or shortsless? And I will just leave that to your imagination.
So is that two separate KOMs? Is there a clothed and a non-clothed KOM?
There's a I'm not going to
There's
answer that.
the section is called Lance No Pants.
Lance no pants. Yes. Lance pants or Lance no pants are the two sections.
Oh, jeez. You have to put that thought in my head. Anyway, let's cleanse that.
Jake, off-season race.
I guess my favorite off-season race now is going to be the race for those green socks at team training camp.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting. You're going for green socks.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Explain the
That's gonna be
socks
fun.
too.
I might go for the yellow socks if I can get my overall fitness in check. But there's some people that are pretty stinking strong for the yellow overall. But those green socks, I think I'm going to take a stab at those.
That's going to be fun.
It is on.
We're gonna have to have like a pre-training
much
camp predictions podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like we do for the Tour de France. We're gonna have to
I
have a similar
really
one.
want to go to the training camp. I don't know if it's going to happen this year.
Why?
Because we're traveling a couple times, and it's like just
Travel
a
to
matter
Southern
of-
California with your bike.
I know. That'd be great. I would love
Bring
that.
the
There you
family
go.
down
Super
with
fun.
you, Matt. You'll have tons of time to play with
It's
them.
a matter of figuring out family balance.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, and Evan, you can do it,
I
right?
tried. I went very hard for those green socks last year. I did win the yellow socks for the whole week.
Yep.
But I won the green socks, I believe, twice.
Yeah, but Sarah,
Sarah, I think we tied actually. Sarah
It
won it
was.
3 days.
It's totally a tie.
It's tie. Sarah won it 3 days, and I won it 3 days.
but they're not going to give you two pairs of socks.
No.
So
Sarah got the green socks, and I got the yellow, which is
I took the yellow
fair.
socks from
I'm
you for one
assuming
day.
are there
You
are
did.
there
one day?
are there polka dot socks?
Yeah,
Well, they're
there
not
are.
polka dot. They're red.
the red.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay.
Are there white socks? Or are you giving out like a
Youngest? You would-
classification too?
We
I think there was-
There wasn't a youngest
I
one.
think there was
don't
3
Under
pairs of
30.
socks.
Yeah, it was just 3 pairs of socks. We didn't do the youngest rider because
There was most aggressive. There was a climbing, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Didn't-
there was a KOM one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was overall, and then
Yeah,
there
that
was
was
the
fun.
sprint thing. Yeah,
That was super fun.
it was fun.
Yep.
Granted, me and Surratt battled it out every day only because Jake was still recovering
Yep.
from his accident. So it was a whole different ballgame. With 3 of us sprinting for every stop ahead sign, there's going to be some crashes.
Yeah. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Yeah. Say that right now off the front.
I can't. You guys are just gonna be like leading out. It's gonna be so ridiculous.
What socks are you going for, Matt?
Most aggressive.
You did get that one day,
Team
didn't you?
spirit.
Oh yeah. No, I won. I think I won the overall most aggressive, and then I don't know. Or maybe it was like one of those things where it was a tie or
You
something.
dusted everybody one day. You just kept going. We
Yeah.
all stopped and you just kept going.
They stopped because they had a flat tire, and I just went.
Matt just kept going.
Matt's attacked like 30 times today. It's great. He's
That's
attacked in
how
all
you-
the
Team
sections.
Movistar
Everybody
over here.
decided to slow
Yeah,
down.
I get all my cycling, advice from Team Movistar captain.
Oh, has he flatted? Okay, now's
Flat.
when I go.
It's go
Attack. Lance, if you had a hot seat question, what would it be?
Okay. When's the last time you added sealant to your tubeless tubes?
Never.
This sounds like a personal
Tubeless
question.
tubes or tubeless tires?
Tubeless tires.
What's a tubeless tube?
I don't know. Can you put sealant in
No.
a tube and will it seal it?
Sure.
Probably not.
It's that green slime stuff. They started that way back when, but I know people that put sealant in
Sealant in
tubes.
their
Okay,
tubes.
I went on a ride right before this. I was trying to like hammer out some efforts before we came to record the podcast. And of course my power meter dies, and of course I get a flat in my tubeless road tire that I've been riding on for like 12 months. I don't know how long I've been on it. It's
a long
been-
time, yeah.
It's been a long
I've had
time.
good luck, yeah.
And I've had really good luck with it, and it's just there's just too much rubber gone. And so that's what I thought. So I took it apart to try to to replace it, and when I opened it up, bone dry.
Oh,
Zero
geez.
sealant in there. Matter of fact,
It had just encased the edge.
no, it
Oh.
had balled up into a ball like the size
The
of
Stan's booger. Yep, that's what we call those things.
But I'm using orange seal.
Okay, the orange seal booger.
But
then,
still,
yeah.
it was literally as big as a quarter. It was like, it was, I'm like, what in the heck is this? It would have totally probably sealed, but I threw the tire out and then cursed loudly and then threw it against the wall and then was late to the podcast.
Say every 6 to 8 weeks.
You should add something to it.
Yeah, check it every 6 to 8 weeks or add something to it. Yep.
Okay.
I guess that wasn't really a
Lance, boo.
question. It was,
It's
look at how I screwed up.
It's a technical question.
It's a technical
I'll tell
question.
you what.
People
my-
are listening and learning.
Yeah. My seat's hot over here. I'm feeling angry for you too. You know, it's
a hot seat question.
That's really what this is about, guys. Just raising blood pressures here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the question is, have you switched to road tubeless?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, yes.
Now, here's another
Should
question
I
for
probably?
you. Did you start to find that you were having to put a little bit more air in your tire a little bit more frequently?
Yes.
That's when.
That's when I should have added sealant.
Yes, that's when you should have added sealant. If you're noticing that it's like you're coming out and it's almost all the way flat, that's when you take the tire completely off, clean up everything really nice, and put a brand new fresh helping of sealant in there.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
Lesson learned.
I just ripped the tire off and put a new one on.
you can do that too. Do you guys have any answers for that?
We
Chime
don't.
in.
Already did. Yeah.
They chimed
already
in.
got
They
it.
both
Yeah.
said no.
Tubes.
Yeah, tube.
Except for on my gravel, but yeah, it's different.
Do you guys put stuff in your tubes?
I know nothing about my gravel bike, basically.
I've put stuff in tubes before, and it didn't really work well.
Gotcha.
I thought it would, but
On my cross bike, the front tire, when I went out on Saturday night to make sure everything was cool, it was flat. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be without my tubeless tire before the race the next day.
Uh huh.
And I just took the core out, the
Yep.
valve core out, and pumped it full of sealant and spun it and pumped it up, and it held. And
Yeah.
it held for the race
Yep.
for me, too.
Yeah.
So
That works.
It worked. And it hasn't before for me.
Yeah, sometimes you get like a little dried up piece that'll like create like a not a vacuum seal, but actually create an opening or a gap that lets the air slowly leak out.
Yeah.
So what you could do is like after you spin it out, let it set overnight. You can get some water and put air pressure back in, and then slowly take the tire and turn it through the water to see if you get
See
any
if it's
bubbles.
leaking.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you've got a leaky spot, then you know that you're gonna have to take it apart and clean it up really good and reseal it.
Well, this was on a tubular tire, not a tubeless.
Oh, it was a tubular.
It was a tubular.
Ooh.
And I think it doesn't really it doesn't seal the tubular the same because I think that tube that's sewn inside the tire is a little more stretchy.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, but it worked. It held for the race. I was
Gotcha.
happy.
Mr. Legrand, hot seat question?
I got a hot seat question for you guys.
Bring on the
You
heat.
guys,
I'm afraid.
are you
Let's do it.
nervous?
Yes.
Do it.
Evan, are you nervous?
Do it.
This question that you guys are fearing is slightly different for each of you.
Oh boy.
I know. This is serious. Evan, if you could go back and coach yourself through your first triathlon race, what kind of tips and tricks would you tell yourself right before the race? So like you're face to face with yourself
Yeah.
right before the race. You're holding your shoulder, your shoulder.
Yeah.
You're looking down at yourself because you're probably a young man at the time.
Pretty young.
Shake yourself
Yeah.
a little bit. Wake up, kid.
Yeah.
You got to race.
Yeah.
You're about to race. What do you tell him? What's it going to be?
It was
What's
a
your
pretty,
advice?
It was a pretty cold morning
Mm-hmm.
that day. I remember it was actually very cold. This was the Miami University indoor swim triathlon.
Okay.
So I was for one wearing bike shorts. Probably would tell myself, go get yourself a pair of triathlon shorts. Number 2, what I would
With
tell
triathlon shorts, the chamois is much thinner than bike shorts, so you're not you're not swimming in a diaper.
a little bit easier to swim in. Yeah. So
Okay.
number 2, I would have been like, you probably should be a better swimmer. Number 3.
You should be a better swimmer.
Number 3, I was making a decision in transition that morning. It was a chilly morning.
Yeah.
And I had put a jacket there to put on. Because in my head, I thought, if I put this jacket on and run in the jacket, that'll work well. Because I was not swimming in a shirt. So I was thinking, how am I going to get warm when I get out of the water? I got it. I'll put on one of those like rain jacket thingies that you bike in.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize is
Poncho.
how hard those are to put on when you're wet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing, I decided against gloves. I remember on that day, braking was quite difficult. Also, turning was difficult. Feeling my hands was difficult, along with my face, which was freezing.
I bet.
So I would tell myself, probably not the rain jacket. I think a sweater would have worked better.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, you probably should grab some gloves.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Pick a warmer race.
Race in 3 weeks from now. It's going to be better.
So I'm asking this exact same question on my YouTube channel. I'm asking 5 triathlon coaches, like if you could coach your race, which is kind of cool because they're triathlon coaches, and what would they tell themselves through their first race? So I think this video should come out tomorrow or the next day or whatever it is, sometime this week. Lance, same question for you, not triathlon related, cyclocross specifically.
My first
cyclocross race.
Cyclocross race.
Yes.
I believe I crashed and was bleeding. That's no surprise.
It's like a family tradition.
It's like a family tradition.
Emergency
You're
room.
gonna crash and bleeding.
Rite of passage.
But I also won by minutes because it was Cat 5 race, and I was in the wrong category for a brand new thing. So I think I would have said switch to tubeless tires and go to lower tire pressure.
You think that would have held you in a turn?
It would have.
Yeah.
Too much tire pressure. I just washed out in a corner, a loose corner, and it was just too tight and it gripped out. So I think I would have said lower tire pressure.
Anything else?
I don't.
That's not the same race where you got your Di2 torn. Remember that? You brought your bike over and we were working on that late at night. We were trying to repair and
that was the very next race.
That was the next race?
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, I was out. I was training on my cross bike and going for a segment. This is a funny story. I'm already laughing at myself. So I was in Astoria, Oregon, home of the Goonies.
Yes.
If you've seen the movie The Goonies, the Goonie house is still in Astoria.
Yes,
it's up on the hill, right, in Astoria. And there's a gravel driveway up to the house that's kind of private.
Did you bike up that?
Yeah. So there was a segment.
For anybody listening, that is a private drive. That's not kind of a private
correct.
drive.
So what's the segment called?
It's called like the
private drive.
Goonie driveway or something like that.
That's awesome.
And so I had like started in my Strava account, so it popped up. And when it popped up, I can't remember who it was, but it was like a super famous name that popped up. this has got the KOM to it. And I can't remember who it was. But so I'm like, I'm going for it. And so I probably put down like 1,200 watts trying to go up this gravel driveway and ripped my derailleur right off the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
The derailleur hanger just snapped in half. And it must have caught on something because that shouldn't really happen. No. But yeah, I ripped the derailleur in half, and I had a race that weekend, and me and Jake tried to put it together, and it was Di2, and there was a wire to it, and it ripped the wire in half.
Wow. Okay.
So the derailleur hanger broke off, the rear derailleur came off, and instead of dangling on the wire, no, it ripped the whole thing right up, busted the wire right in half. So we had to run a new wire through the whole thing to get it, and we were having difficulty because of
just the routing of
the
that.
Routing's a nightmare.
Those little magnets and you're running it around.
I didn't have that with me at the time, and we're using
you just have to just guess.
dentistry tools and whatnot trying to pull things through.
And
I remember we worked on that for far too long.
And it was like the night before the race.
Yeah.
I'm glad the dentistry tools at least were still getting some work. You know,
it still didn't work. We couldn't get it. We just couldn't get it. So I ended up racing on my other bike, my pit bike.
Still won by minutes.
I still won by minutes.
Jake Von During.
Yes, sir.
Same question for you, but let's go road race.
Road race. My first road race wasn't actually until I moved up here to Washington, Oregon area.
I don't think I knew that.
So my first road race was the first time I ever raced with Lance, which was out there at Dirty Circles.
Dirty Circles. That was my first road race ever, too.
Yeah. So I'd done Jack Frost, but that doesn't count because that's not a road race. That's a time trial. So if I were to give myself some tips and suggestions, it would be the same ones that I gave myself after that race. And that was, don't be so damn conservative. I sat in for way too long, and I didn't know people. And I'm looking around at some of these guys, and there was a lot of guys in that field that are like Cat 2, Cat 3, strong powerhouse people.
Greg Steele,
Andy Levine. Chris Surratt was in that race.
Andy Levine?
Yeah. So you've got...
Me?
Yeah, like...
Except you dropped me.
Andy Levine's on our team, and he's a tall dude. Tall, skinny, just looks like you're like super, like kind of like a Chris Froome kind of build. And he had this aerodynamic helmet on. He's wearing his Audi team kit. And I'm over here like not wearing anybody's kit or anything. I mean, I was racing for Monster Media at the time, but I didn't even have a kit yet. And Andy's got this like aerodynamic, like almost like visor thing going on. He's just got this like stoic look about himself. And like standing right next to him is Greg Steele, and he's another big fit dude. And
he's a tall, fit dude.
Yeah. And there was a few other guys that are around, like some guy, we'll just call him some guy from Team Oregon was in that race, and John Hinkle, and there was a lot of strong people in that field. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I can't come out here and just go buck wild and try and go do a break or something. I don't know any of these people. I mean, I know enough about road bike riding and racing to know that you just can't go out there and do it on a solo effort early in the season on a flat course, but I sat in for too long, and then I got boxed in and put in the wrong position for the last 150 meters, and couldn't get around people, couldn't get a good line, and Hinkle came off of the back and came around all of us for the win. And if I probably had another 30 or 40 meters or 20 or 30 meters, I probably could have come around him, because once I popped out, I was right behind him, but he still got me, and I got second. And you could see there's a couple of pictures, and I think he posted up every year about the time Dirty Circles come around, saying, "Hey, remember this when I beat you?" I'm like, you son of a biscuit eater. But that would be my suggestion to myself, is for that particular race, don't be so conservative. Jen's always said, Jen's Voigt, you got to take chances. You're going to lose 100% of the races that you don't take chances, you don't try.
Yeah.
So
I think he also told his legs to shut up a couple times.
That's
too,
true.
Didn't he?
Yeah. And then the Dirty Circles used to be a 3-race series. So you would come out and do every weekend for 3 weeks. They would do the races. And that particular year, we did the first weekend and just talked about how that finished. The second week we came out, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to let that happen again. And I was playing protagonist the entire race. And we thinned the herd down really quickly, down to about a select group of about 5 or 6 people. And I think we did 6 laps. And I think about 4 laps in, it was down to me and Greg Steele. Like, we'd broken away from everybody. Oh. And so I started playing with him a little bit and, kind of baiting him a little bit and, like, pretending like I was tired. And then he would try and, like, come around me and gas me, and I just sit on his wheel kind of chuckling like I never even burned a match on that last one. Did a few of those, and I put a few big attacks on him on the last lap, and finally broke him and was able to break away and got him by about, I don't know, a good 500 to 1,000 meters or something like that. It was a pretty decent chunk, but I ended up winning. I'm like, all right, that's exactly what I needed to do last week. Unfortunately, there wasn't a week 3 because Mother Nature.
Yeah, it got weathered out.
Yeah, it got
That's
weathered
right.
out. So, but yeah, that's my 2 cents for myself.
Good answer.
Thank you, sir.
That is a good answer.
Mine. What is your biggest vice right now that is keeping you from attaining and reaching your goals? That's a deep one.
Wait, like only one?
Oh, you've got multiple vices
I
right
got
now.
like 7 or 8.
We'll say vice or vices.
Vices, okay.
What's keeping you back? What's the biggest thing that is a problem that you see that's right in front of your face? Like, I keep doing this, and I know that it's not helping me achieve my goals where I want to be. What are those things? Matt, you want to start?
Sure. I have a couple vices. I'm just going to roll through a whole bunch.
Go for it.
One would be some like little nagging injuries, which I'm extremely hopeful for at this point. Who knows?
So is that a vice? Is that something that you're doing? Like, I guess you are kind of
It's
causing
not a
yourself
vice. Yeah, I mean, if
you keep trying to go out there and train through it and keep hurting yourself again. So maybe
so
that is.
yeah, I mean, I'm always going to try and run. I'm just not going to stop. That's going to keep happening. So who knows? The second one, and this is one that I want to make a video about a topic, and I might get your guys' help on that. But that is just not biking. I basically, since my crash, I've biked a couple times, but not really. I haven't really been training at all on the bike. I mean, you can probably count on one hand how many times I've like gone out biking. So I would say you can't do well in triathlon if you don't bike. That's true.
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, that's a pretty good chunk of the race. I think it's on the bike.
Yeah.
Matt, I think we need to start a support group.
Right?
You and I can just be the 2 people in that group and
Get back out on the road.
And some of it's like, just like fitting it in the schedule or whatever it is, which is, biking takes up the most time. It's very hard to fit it in. And it's cross country season, so I have extra work and stuff to do. The other part is, being scared of getting, in another crash or a car accident. Like, you just, like, I mean, I think about it, like, we've had friends die. We've had friends in really nasty crashes. And I just look at them like, is it worth it? Like, I don't know. Like, of course, I can always hop on Zwift, and I just need to do that. I just don't like Zwift that much. I don't get a great workout from it. So I don't know if that's necessarily a vice. Vices are probably more along the lines of like, I'm not skipping dessert right now either, and I've gained some weight since my bike crash, significant amount of weight. A lot of that's like I'm not really training for anything in particular.
Yeah.
If you're not training for something, and if you don't have that like fear of a race, then you're a lot less likely to you're less likely to skip dessert. Did I say that right? You're less likely to skip dessert. It's like a double negative in there.
we always say that, though. If you put something on the calendar, it brings everything into focus.
And
so
you're like, I can't have
what can we
beer
put
and
on
cookies.
What can we put on your calendar?
Well, so one thing that is a little scary, I'm not sure it's scary enough, is they call it the Beast Man Triathlon, because it's like slightly longer than a half Ironman distance. And my family's going to be in town, hopefully, for that one. Or at least this is kind of the plans that we're trying to work through. And that is end of July. And so that's one where it's like, not only do you have to do a half Ironman distance, but I've always done well in that race. I've always kind of been in that top 10, and my family's going to be there.
This is the Pat Crest race.
It's the Pat Crest race, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great race. Awesome race.
For this year, I think the wise thing would be like try to finish it. Usually my goal is like, top 10 or there's prize money in the top 5. I don't think either of those things are realistic. I think the realistic goal is like just get fit enough to finish.
I think top 10 could be realistic.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
Depending on how the winter goes
or
for
if
you,
things go like they are now, then finish is a good goal.
Probably, yeah.
So
things can change.
Good answer. I like it. Evan, what's this laundry list of vices?
I got a lot of vices. I'm just gonna word vomit this one.
Wine.
Yeah, wine being one.
Yeah.
I eat sweets all the time, and I'm not going to change that. I've always been that way. Like,
so how are you doing post Halloween?
I'm that like super annoying guy though that people hate. Where like I will eat very unhealthy and still stay basically at race weight and stay fit. That's not going to be the case for 10 years from now. I know that. Like I'm very aware of that not being a thing.
Yeah.
I don't sleep enough at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think about things too much, like the guy across the table too. like every human being
Overthinking
has
it.
like rough anxiety things, but like I stress about everything very unnecessarily. That probably is related to sleep. I also am like virtually uncoachable. That's a vice. That is a vice. And you know what sucks about that is that I care more about the people I treat and help coach in their success than ever trying to look at my own and be like, yeah, I'm probably not training right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think I'm a better coach than I am like a coach to be coached.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do
I'm
as I
with you
say,
there.
not as I do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Got to stretch, guys. Got to do your drills.
Yeah.
do that stuff.
Yeah, and I've even tried. Like I'm doing my own plyometric circuits. I'm doing all that stuff, and I notice the benefits.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. Is I'll notice the benefits, and then I'll be like, you know what I could do instead? A 5-hour unnecessary bike ride on Sunday to make sure my legs are shredded for Monday. Be like, why? I don't know, because that's how Lionel Sanders trains, and that's
fun on your bike. You got to do
Yeah.
that, man. We talk about that when you're in your off season and you're not super hyper focused. You got to go out and have fun sometimes. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to say that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily helping you either.
I think that's the problem. Is my vice is I always look back at. I think my best fitness I've had in my life has never been in a race. It's always been in like February or March or just like random months that don't matter in the triathlon schedule, and I'll hit a massive peak in fitness.
Huh.
And then I'm not able to reproduce that when it matters. It's like, why? Probably because I'm not coachable. So,
Well, maybe you should go back and look at what you were doing in those time frames and recreate it and see if that works for your racing.
I am attempting that this season.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm being more careful this year.
So back to the Halloween candy thing that I asked you earlier. Is that and your sweet tooth?
Oh yeah.
Do you need some candy? Do I need to send you home with some candy?
Oh, I got plenty. Please don't. I have so much.
You know those grocery bags that they give you at the store that are
50% off on the day after Halloween.
No. It's the bag that they give you. So if you don't want to use a paper or plastic bag, you've got your reusable one, like the big ones. That I've got one of those that's full up to the top. So we've got my 3 kids and we've got my exchange student. They all went out trick-or-treating and they brought back, like, I'm not kidding you, it was like 30 pounds of candy.
Yeah. They made it all the way down to my house.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you got fit kids. They can go further.
They were just running and they scored so much, and I can't believe how many king-size candies they brought back. It was nuts. So anyway, I've got a ton of candy that I'm going to send home with you.
I mean, I could probably help with that.
There you go.
Yeah. That's good.
Mr. Hepler, you don't have any vices, so we're just going to skip, right?
I
Or
have plenty of
do
problems.
you?
I think clearly one of my biggest issues is I don't take enough time off. I don't rest enough.
You don't say.
Would you say race too much would be one vice?
Yeah, I race too much, or I ride too much, or I don't. You know.
But you know what? You don't work too much, so you get some.
Yeah. That's true.
You get to
Now,
rest.
if we were having this conversation with 20 years ago, Lance, there would be a lot more vices on this list from a training perspective.
5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not 20 years ago.
When you were training for your first Ironman, though, you were saying you were only sleeping what? 5 hours a night.
4 or 5 hours a
Oh
night.
my gosh.
Yeah, that's about all I could do. Yeah, and fit in all the training.
If I was left to my own devices and I got to do whatever I want and I didn't have to be responsible to work, I would do the exact same thing that you're doing because that is fun and that's how I want to live
fun.
my life.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you want to be competitive though,
That's the thing.
That's where we need to talk because you go out and you hammer, you're chasing segments, you're racing multiple times a week, and you're layering up on a weekly basis and not giving your body some time to unwind.
It's all ego-driven. I like to get the KOMs. I like to be the fastest guy. I want to win races.
If Strava didn't exist, would Lance be like really, really fast? Genuine question.
It's possible.
I think you
Lance-
would be much faster
they
if
say,
Strava
like-
wasn't a thing.
If it's not on Strava, it didn't happen. If there was no Strava, Lance wouldn't exist.
I probably wouldn't ride at all.
I enjoy going out on Strava and not even chasing anything. Like, I enjoy going out on Strava like a 16-mile-an-hour race and having people wonder, like, wow, is he just really out of shape right now? Or is that like...
Right. So I think that's probably one of my biggest issues is like doing too much.
Yeah.
And I've struggled with my weight my whole life, my whole adult life. And so, I mean, really an ideal race weight for me would be 25 pounds lighter than I am.
Than you are right now?
Yeah.
Dude, you would be next to nothing. You're
Your
not
anatomy
25
couldn't
pounds
get-
heavier.
There's no way that
Well,
you're
I'm
you're
185.
You're a strong athlete.
And if I was 160,
But you said Brandy didn't like you
she
like in the
doesn't.
170.
So that's part of the thing. I look too foreign to her.
Okay, so if you're 160, that's your
God,
ideal race
she
weight.
doesn't like it.
Let's say you're like what, 180 right now?
I'm
Just find that happy medium. Go 170,
That's
172.
That's what I'm trying
Okay,
to do.
we'll do that.
When
Or
does this thing start?
just
It started last week.
January 1st.
or just keep eating
Let's wait.
candy.
Let's wait.
I'm giving you some candy too.
I'm not taking any.
Anything else?
Not that I want to admit.
I know wine's not on that list.
No,
but
I drink
that's-
way too much caffeine.
Do you?
I do.
You're not drinking coffee, though,
what?
are you?
I love Monster energy drink.
Wait a
that
minute.
stuff is
This
so
is
terrible
blowing
for
my
you.
mind right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. You've never even mentioned. Like we know
I thought
you
that you
really
don't-
well.
I can't
and we don't
believe-
know this about you.
You do
I
not-
thought that you
maybe
don't
I
drink
shouldn't have said
caffeine.
this. No, I totally hammer caffeine.
I thought he didn't drink caffeine. This is
No,
blowing
no,
my
no.
mind right now.
He just doesn't drink coffee.
I drink the 0-calorie Monster energy.
Do you drink it in the morning?
Yes.
When do you,
Dude,
yeah, you
Lance,
sneak
go-
it in.
Can I tell you
drink one in the
something?
morning.
Do
Did I
your studies on that stuff. It's terrible
I'm
for you.
fully
need to-
aware of how bad it is for me.
Lance, so when I drove out here, I had never drank energy drinks before in my life, and then I had to drive from Ohio to here. Long drive. So I really got addicted to energy drinks during that drive.
Yeah.
My breakfast for the first year I lived here was a 0-calorie Rockstar and a Snickers bar.
I remember you
I
saying
remember you
this.
showing up one day with
Yeah.
the 0-calorie.
And I would
Rockstar.
drink 2 of those a day. I'll tell you what, when I stopped that, I had a week and a half of major headaches.
So
Yeah.
here's
I
the
did the
thing.
same thing.
But I feel a million times better now that I
Yeah.
don't do that
So
anymore.
here's the thing
Yeah.
with me. I think I have a little bit of redhead in me, and I'm not hitting on
Viking?
redheads.
Are you saying you're Viking right
maybe a little bit, but
Your beard kind of is
in-
a little ginger tint
It
to it.
is.
Yeah.
And if in the medical industry, redheads don't respond to medication very well or as well as other people. It's like stuff just doesn't affect you. Like I could take 4 Vicodin and not feel anything. So I don't take drugs or things because I don't really feel an effect. I could take 250 milligrams of caffeine in one hit, and I don't feel jittery or shaky, or I just feel more aware. I don't feel it. And
Focus in, yeah.
yeah, when I've oftentimes gone cold turkey. I'm like, okay, this is stupid. I'll go cold turkey off of caffeine completely, and I don't have any symptoms. I don't have headaches. I don't have drowsiness.
Cravings, though?
I have cravings because I
Psychological
You like
cravings,
the
those
you like the
things.
taste of it.
It's the
I like
habit.
the taste of it.
Yeah,
It's the habit
just-
of it, too.
Yeah.
You could easily switch that for something else.
I know.
Just start
could.
drinking, like, can you have green tea?
I don't drink green tea. I don't like green tea.
Switch
But-
to the do you know what I switched to? There's oh my goodness, it's this little canned tea. It's in a can, just like the Rockstars are.
Yeah.
Has a very similar taste, but just like organic tea, basically.
That's
with,
probably a
with
good-
sugar. It has a lot of sugar. I'm going to be honest.
You can
but
brew your own green tea and put a little
Yeah.
bit of honey in
Well,
there for some sweetness.
but you like the can, don't you?
Well, yes.
You like the
and
can. I know he
as
likes the can.
Mormon, we don't drink coffee and tea.
Yeah.
And tea's one of them. We drink herbal teas, but not black or green teas.
Because there's caffeine in it.
It's
what
not
about
the
like a-
caffeine. It's
Just
Okay,
switch.
so
switch
so
to
Monster
obviously
energy
it's not
drink,
the
yes.
caffeine. I know this is why it doesn't
Green
make
tea,
sense.
no. Okay.
What about one of those bubbly waters that you like?
Yeah.
Is that the one that you like?
Yeah,
You could
LaCroix, Kirkland.
Something you
Just
could
start
do.
drinking White Claws all the time.
I think you could,
Actually,
you could
Fred
The can's
Meyer
taller.
makes good bubbly water that my wife loves.
This is an honest question. Is it the size of the can? Do you think that has something to do with it? It's bigger than the smaller sparkling water cans.
I maybe.
I don't know.
This is a habit-based
I like
thing.
Taste.
It's
It's
very
a total
habit-based.
habit
Yeah.
thing.
If you can find something
Well,
that
I just said
replaces
too
that,
much, man.
Yeah.
You guys are just
No.
You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting is like none of us knew.
right.
I know.
I
know.
had it pretty good.
And like we've
I
like
just spilled it to the whole world.
we've
Yeah.
done like we've done training weeks with you.
I
We've
thought
done.
Lance did 0 caffeine.
Oh, I didn't think you were caffeine free.
I'm not
I just
caffeine-free,
I just
yeah.
thought you were.
The Lance Mobile's got a little secret
Was
stash
there-
in there
yeah,
somewhere.
Was it
Yes,
in
it
the morning?
does.
Was it like the mornings before you came into the house? You had like a
Yes,
sneaky.
He's just
they're
out in his. He's
they're
just
in
out
the
in his
fridge,
car
in the
there,
van.
shamelessly drinking the
Drank
monster.
it. Drank it.
hiding the can under my chair.
Oh God, this is so terrible.
And then you like would come in and have breakfast
I'm
burritos.
like, all right, where's the breakfast burritos? I'm all hopped up on
You're all hopped up on
caffeine.
caffeine.
I'm ready to
That's
go.
so crazy. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yep, there are a lot worse things to be hooked on.
Thanks.
But
Oh yeah.
I
Any
don't
other
feel
little
it.
secrets you
No,
want to
I'm
divulge right now?
done.
Come on, you're on a roll. There's
gotta be
you're on a
another
roll,
one.
man. Come clean.
No.
You're in the confession box right now.
no one will know. It's just recorded and sent out on the World Wide Web.
Naked hot tub
Naked
sessions is
hot
another,
tub
is another
running.
vice.
You have disclosed a lot today. You have disclosed a lot.
Oh, I guess you guys probably want to know what
Yes,
mine is.
Jake,
Yes.
please make me feel better about myself.
He's like, I care too much. I work too hard.
I work too hard.
My negatives are also positives.
This isn't a
Jake.
job interview, Jake.
I don't turn off the work button, the work switch. I do. I'm plugged in like
time.
all day long, every day, and I'm trying to do better at drawing lines. And I think some people might respond to that the wrong way. Like, how come he's taking like 2 or 3 days to get back to me? It's like I need to kind of switch off. And I bring this question up not because I don't have vices, it's because I'm working on them right now. So I figure if I put it out there and I say it, then I'll hold myself to it. So so that's the first one, is like literally being plugged in for 70, 80 hours a week of just being constantly available. I hear that from like my kids, and I hear that from my wife. Like, are you ever going to stop? Are you going to ever just disconnect and go do stuff with us? So that's why I've been trying to be more ever present at my kids' games. I'm still at their games, but when I'm at the games, it's like
Checking emails.
checking
phones.
emails,
Oh, yeah.
texting back, sending messages. And
I find myself doing the same
yeah.
thing.
So now I'm like, all right, put the phone away, get your camera out, watch the game, take pictures, engage, and talk to them after the game. So I've been trying to do that more. So that was the first part. The next one is like my food intake. It could be a hell of a lot better, and it always can. We're always dealing with that. It seems like
No, mine's perfect.
You have a bag of potato chips for
Quiet. It's a great carb. It's a wonderful
So
carb.
trying to eat a little bit better for me is definitely going in the right direction. And what's kind of nice is like my wife's always on board for that. If I say like, hey, we need to clean things up, she's like, I'm in. And she'll do the same thing. Like, hey, we need to clean things up. I'm always telling her I'm in. Just the kids might go into a kicking and screaming, which I don't mind. But right now we've got a really cool influence on us. We've got an exchange student staying with us until the end of June, and she's a pretty good little triathlete. She's a good athlete in her own right, and she was a pretty accomplished swimmer, and she's very keen on like good fitness and training habits and nutritional intake and whatnot. So it's been kind of fun.
Swimming with us on Tuesday.
She might. We're actually looking into it, and I think that she might come do one just to see
She's
if
welcome to come.
Yeah,
just to try it out.
we just got her set up with a gym pass to the 24-hour fitness. So it's not too far away from us. It has lanes that she can go swim with my wife, because that's where my wife does some swimming stuff. But she's going there, and they were there doing a spin class at 5 o'clock this morning, which kudos to her for being a high school student, getting up to go to a spin class at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez.
So, but having her here has been kind of neat, because I will, try and make more of a conscious effort to make sure that she's got what she wants on the plate, and that in turn makes sure that I have that good balance of everything on my plate, and then the rest of the family just deal with it. My wife's fine. My kids will moan about it a little bit. So there's that. Plus, she's been cooking for us, man. She made an incredible paella for us last night.
Seriously?
Oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, she's like, well, you guys don't have the right kind of rice here. And I'm like, hold on a second, what's it called? And she like pulled it up on her phone. She's like, it's this stuff right here. And she's like, you guys don't have that in the States. I already looked with when she first came here. It's kind of a long story, and she said didn't find it. Hold on a second. Looked up on Amazon. I'm like, is this it? She's like, yep. I'm like, it'll be here in 2 days. And she's like, no way. So she had she was able to make an authentic paella last night for us that was incredible. It was so good. So super stoked on this.
That's fun.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. And then, you guys, who mentioned wine?
Me.
My wife and I, we love wine.
How many times a week do you drink wine?
Now, or was I before?
Before and then now. Give me both.
Before, we would split a bottle of wine every night.
Yeah.
Well, not every night, but most nights. So that's 2 glasses of wine, and really that's not terrible. But if you're doing it on a daily basis, that's probably not like that's
It's
the
just
best
a lot
way.
of sugar, right? Like it metabolizes
It's
as sugar.
and calories and whatnot. Yeah.
I think I'm at like 3 or 4 nights a week probably right now. Probably 3.
How many glasses
So
though?
good, though.
1.
Just one glass?
That's
one.
a lie.
Yeah, that's not
That's
terribly
a lie
bad.
too. One
One
and a
big,
half.
one big pour.
Yeah, 2 huge glasses.
So
There you go.
a few weeks ago, I told her, I'm like, hey, listen, I think we should probably cut back on this. There's good reasons to drink wine. It helps you relax, and I sometimes need that. I need to be able to like disconnect, and I want to do so much, and this is going to be my last thing that I'll get into in just a minute. But I want to do so much, and I want to help so many people, but at the same time I just need to wind down. I need to relax, and I need to connect and hang out with my wife, and that was kind of nice for us to have that. But like I said, it was probably too much. And after having my annual meeting with my doc and all that other stuff to kind of talk about some stuff that's going on with me and whatnot, and I said, I'm probably drinking a little bit too much wine. Probably might want to cut back on that. So I came back to wife and said, hey wife, what do you think about maybe just doing 2 bottles a week, and that's all we get, that's our ration for the week. And so if it's just 1 glass a night for like there's 4 glasses per bottle, we each get 4 glasses a week. You want to do that? She's like, yeah.
I think we're at about probably 2 bottles a week.
Yeah. So that's what we've done, and that's worked pretty well.
Okay.
So
I'll probably just stay right at that. Yeah.
And my other big vice is not using the word no.
Oh yeah, we all know that.
And that's keeping me from accomplishing stuff that I need to do. Like right now I'm averaging about 7 hours a week of writing, and that's not where I need to be. My personal goal is always to hit that 10-hour mark. When I'm at 10 hours, that's when good things happen. That's where I get stronger and faster. And I tell that to a lot of people. If you can find 10 hours, you're going to see magical things happen. And a lot of people have followed that advice, and they've seen magical things happen. They get stronger and faster on the bike. So but right now I've taken on too much, and I'm needing to kind of maybe pare down stuff. So I'm looking forward to some stuff that Evan and I have on the books moving forward, because I'm actually going to pare down some of the things that I'm doing so that I can concentrate and put more of my focus and effort into things that are going to help everything globally. But I'm going to be able to find that training time that I need as well. So
Absolutely.
that's my stuff, guys.
I like it.
Yeah.
We're all very vice-ridden people. We're terrible people on this
Speak
podcast.
for yourself.
We were perfect until today, right?
I care too much.
I care too much.
I care too much.
I just love too much.
Evan, one last thing.
One last thing. I was going to tell everybody just about the Sunday morning runs, but we basically already did that. But
Yeah, we talked about
so on Sunday morning at 10 a.m., we are meeting at the Heritage Trailhead again. The plan is basically every Sunday from now till whenever. In the spring, it may change location because we may do a little bike run sort of stuff too as soon as we get closer to the triathlon season. But through the winter, it is going to be Sunday mornings at Heritage Trail. Some people have talked to me asking if we can have another location as well, and we could always split up into 2 different long runs if somebody wants to set up one that's maybe closer to Vancouver Lake.
Yeah, do a Vancouver Lake one and
a Heritage one for all the Camus crew. Yep.
And I'll piggyback my one last thing will be the same thing, and we will set up a Facebook group for that.
Name still to be determined.
Name to be determined, and we'll post that particular group or invite to be a part of that page or whatever. We'll post that to the Dial Podcast Facebook group. So if you're already a part of that and you're a listener and you're interested in running or at least learning more about it, you can hop on that page and learn some details.
Or if you have a dog and you want to walk the dog.
If you want to walk, it's not an elitist group, like Evan Price tends to attract.
Oh yeah, I'm just.
It's more of a walker group, kind of like
I only do structured training, and I eat perfectly clean all the time, as a true professional should. That's my entire life.
And you bash in anyone that wouldn't do the same.
Oh, exactly. And I hate hanging out with anybody who is not exactly as fast as I am. I heckle them frequently.
You would heckle, and it hurts. It hurts. Jake, one last thing.
This Friday is going to be, it's November 8th, and that will be the 1-year anniversary that we lost our good friend and teammate Michael Myers. I still can't believe it's been a year. It was probably, it was just, I think, about now that it was the last time I physically saw him in person, because he had just started his new job out in the Tri-Cities area. Yeah. And he was gone for 3 days, if I'm not mistaken, or 4 days. I think it was 4 days. So it would have been about a year ago would be the last time that I saw him. He came by, we chatted. He had this hop in his step, and he had this twinkle in his eye. He was happy because this was a new chapter that he was really excited about. And he was excited about the fact that he was going to be, for this particular week, I think he was going to be gone for 4 days because he was getting settled in, and he wanted to get there a day early because he had an apartment. He was going to live out there for 3 days, and then he was going to drive back and have 4 days off. For him, he's never had that before since he's been a medical doctor. Yeah. And that was 4 days of training, spending time with his family, seeing his friends, and just getting to really kind of enjoy life a little bit more, because he'd worked his butt off and he deserved that. So he came over to drop something off. We chatted for a minute and shook his hand and said, goodbye and all that other fun stuff. And I never saw him again. And this Friday will be 1 year ago since we lost him. And we are going to do a little ride to remember him on Friday. It's not going to be like maybe we'll find a segment that he would have liked, and maybe we'll get after that one segment. But we're going to ride around and just see some of the spots that Michael, reminds me of Michael. Every time I ride by him, I think of him, and unfortunately I ride by the spot where he passed away. I rode by it twice this weekend. Yeah. Where he used to live and some of his favorite segments and where he would like to go and do like repeats and kind of stuff. I want to go ride those and just kind of like remember him. The next morning, on Saturday morning, we're going to put together another ride. We will ride from the Kems, Washington area. We'll ride out to Washougal, and there's a spot that I have been to many times, and I've ridden out there with him before, and we've actually stopped there, and we've looked to see the view across the Columbia River Gorge, and you can actually see Multnomah Falls. It's a beautiful spot that's just kind of like this open little picturesque window. We've got some of Michael's ashes, and we're going to spread them there. And I'm going to try and see if there's some way that we can plant some sort of a tree or a shrub or something that would just kind of help us remember Michael. So that will be this weekend.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's it, you guys. I think we got
Did Lance have any?
I am not going to follow that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. You didn't get your... Oh, that's right, Matt. You threw it to me before we got to go. Lance, yes.
Nope, I got nothing anyway, so...
All right,
I'm
moving
looking
along.
forward.
Moving along. Sorry, Lance.
Okay.
Matt's got to get to his kids' classroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got teacher
conferences. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. If you want to reach out to us, do so on the social media stuff, that Instagram and Facebooky stuff, Dial Podcast. Another thing we haven't asked for in quite some time would be for you to jump on probably iTunes, because that's the biggest one. Go give us a review. We've had a few recent reviews, and those always put a big smile on all of our faces, and I love seeing those and giving us how many stars, Matt? How many star rating?
I think you can
what are the options?
You could pick 5, or you could pick 5 and I don't know if you can get 5.5 in there. Try and squeeze it in.
Yeah.
But somewhere between 5 and 5.
Anywhere,
Anywhere
in that range.
5.
Yeah, those actually help us out, and we don't do this thing for anything. We're not making money off of it, but
we're not
yet. We're not making money yet.
I've been waiting for this check for more than a year now.
It's in the mail.
Ridiculous.
Usually
goes postal system.
Paid in Kirkland sparkling waters. You didn't even get
That's
that
true.
today.
That's
It's be a riot here.
Yeah, my boss sucks.
But we really would appreciate that. So we will see you next week. Bye for now.